Hi Sue. Hello Chantal. Good afternoon. Hi Sandra. Hello Serena. Not working today. Hello Anne. Let's hope the network stays okay. There's lots of people online, so I very much doubt it. Hi Janet. Hello Joanne. How are you? There's quite a few of us online here, so I'm presuming there's a few of us gone live, so there might be problems with the network. I'm very well, Sue. Are you? I've just been out in the garden, just walked around the garden. It's beautiful. Hello, Sue. That's Sue Morgan. Hello there. Hello, Marjorie. How are you? Hello, Sue. Hi, Jennifer. Good afternoon. Hi, Lynn. I'm quite warm, actually. Phew. Hello, Autumn. How are you? Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Tony. I'm fiddling with my top now. Hello, Ali. How are you? Is everybody well this afternoon? Hello, Sue. We always have quite a few Sues, don't we? Hi, Stephanie. I'm very well. Are you? Hi, Maggie. Hello, Pam. How are you? Grey Dahan. Hello there. Hi, Anne. Oh, do you know, I don't know why I try and read names. Hi, Anne. How are you, Flower? Hope you're well. Say hi to David for me. Hello, Jill. It's gorgeous, isn't it, Sue, out there? Hello, Lynn. Hello, Leslie. We're back. We're talking to the screen again, Leslie. We're chatting to ourselves again at the screen. Just updated my laptop, so maybe better than it has been. We can hope, Maggie. I know it's a bit unpredictable at the moment with everybody going live at the same time. Yeah, it is warm, isn't it, Sue? I'm quite warm. I know I'm a woman of a certain age, but I'm definitely warm. Hope everyone is... Yes, we're all very well. Are you? Hello, Chantal. Is everybody well this afternoon? Oops, speaker's not on. Lizzie's got no speakers. That might be a good thing, Liz. Just watch and no voice. That might be a good thing. Hi, Jenny. Hello, Carols. Oh, I'm glad you're well, Lynn. Finished filming small clip for kids at school. Oh, so what are you doing for the children at school, Lynn? Helen's watching in the garden. Oh, it's beautiful out there, Helen. I've just picked some lilac from the garden, and you know, it's just the small things. I have to laugh. I ordered it. You didn't, Serena. You ordered it from Stamp. Serena, as long as you can't blame me this time. It wasn't my fault this time, honestly, Serena. Hello, Gabby. Hello, Stephanie. Stephanie's been food shopping and sorting out the craft room. Oh, I haven't sorted out my craft room, but I did go in the garden. Hello, Wendy. Oh, I love being here, Wendy. I love your company. Are you talking to the computer, Leslie? I'm glad we're back to normal. And Lizzie's freezing. She doesn't mean she's freezing personally. What she probably means is the screen's freezing. I don't think she's freezing cold. Good afternoon, Bev. I'm glad you're well, Chantal. We have had 3 butterflies here. 3 blue butterflies. Oh, I haven't seen any blue ones, Hazel. I've had a few of the peacock, what they're called, peacock ones. Oh, Janice has got a 266 stamp. Brilliant, Janice. Thank you. Serena's tired after a 7 a.m. start. I was tired yesterday, Serena. I started at 6 a.m. and I went bed at about 1 a.m. I must admit I was tired. Are you in the garden as well, Sue? It's a beautiful day. Honestly, I picked some lilac from the lilac tree and I've put it in a vase. And you know, it smells gorgeous. Don't you think it's the simple things at the moment that bring you pleasure? Would you say hello to my little girl, Kira? Hello, Kira. How are you? I loved your background the other day as well. Are you making along? I hope I pronounced your name right, Kira. Hello, Christine. Welcome. Lovely to have you both. I did love your backgrounds though, Kira, and it's lovely to have somebody from the younger generation joining us. I feel ancient now. Hi, Karen. Just come in from the garden and seen your live result. Thanks, Karen. Hello, Joanna. Hello there. Hello, Marianne. going for a drink and small snibblings, and then have a lovely dinner. Enjoy your family time, Marianne. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Angie. We have peacock and admirals. Oh, I haven't got peacocks. That is very posh. That is, Sue. Peacocks and admirals. Hello, Sue. How are you? No, I've not got any of that. I've got a duck. I'm really chuffed I've got a duck nesting. Hi, Minnie. How are you? Our lilacs are flowering yet always a few weeks behind in Perthshire. Oh, yours are not flowering yet, Jenny. Yes, mine are in full flower, apart from the little standard lilac trees I've got. I've got some standard lilac trees and they are just in bud, but they smell gorgeous. And it's just the simple things. I've put the lilac in a vase and they're in my lounge, and you know, they just make me smile. They're lovely. I love the smell of lilac as well, Sue. I think at the moment it's just appreciating the little things. Sue says, I have so many stamps on Orderly. Thankfully, they are arriving daily. Yeah, you couldn't do with them arriving in one day, Sue. My husband would be mind you, does question me anyway what I'm doing, because I've got 2 parcels I've not opened. I love lilac, but my gran would never have it in the house. She said it was bad luck. Oh, well, there's no chance for me then, Janet. I adore it. Oh, thank you, Angie. Thank you. So, yes, I bought the lilac inside. And even Ian said, doesn't it look beautiful? You used to live in Horsforth. Oh, right. Hi, Sue. How are you? And Sue Green as well. Hello. Hello, Sarah John. How are you? Hello, Annalise. It takes me ages to get your name right, Annalise. I have to get my tongue round that. And mine, she would have had a fit. Oh, June. June's got pigeons. I might have a few pigeons as well. Hello, Sue. How are you? You're so busy, that's why, Sue. You've got time to listen to my waffling, Sue. All we've done is talk about lilac and the fact that June's very chuffed she's got pigeons. Pigeons. But I'm chuffed I've got a duck nesting. A duck is nesting, so I'm chuffed to bits. That's all that. I'm happy about that and my lilac. Small little things at the moment to make me happy. And me crafting as well. Hi, Maria. How are you? I'm sat out in the garden. Oh, Michelle, how lovely. Oh, if I could set myself up in the garden, it would be wonderful. Although you might not hear me because the birds are singing so loudly that that's all I can hear. I mean, it's lovely. We have a pair of ducks who swim in our pond and nest under our honeysuckle. Oh, Jennifer, I'd love that. Oh, you're setting up a community, Sue. A community larder. Oh, what a fab idea, Sue. Oh, that's a lovely idea. Luckily, hubby was in the bath this morning when Posty came. What did you do, Sue? Run upstairs and hide your goodies. And I have more on my wish list. Oh, bless you, Joanna. I love lilac, Sue. I love it. The pencil and nips. Have you ordered the nips, Michelle? Oh, did you hear about that, Sue? I called me nibs and mushrooms, me nips and mushrooms. I'm useless, I am, honestly. Postman just delivered my goodies. Yay, Helen. Are you all set for Saturday? Brilliant. Brilliant. Our blossom tree out. You see, these are the things we have to appreciate. You know me, can't sit still. No, I must admit, Sue, I'm with you in that way. I don't sit still very much. If I disappear, it's just because storming here. No problem, Belinda. You just stay safe. You stay safe. So we'll get onto the card today. So I'm actually creating this card today, and this is to showcase the stamps that are in the one-day special. So the stamps that are in the one-day special on a Chanda on Monday. Have done my homework for Saturday, Miss. Yay, Vanessa. I love being called Miss. I feel about 150. Including nips. Have you had nips as well, Minnie? They're not called nibs anymore. They're called me nips now. Hello, Linda. But we can't call them nibs anymore because I can't get my words out. I can't call it anything other than nips. Nips and quirky flaps. You see, the quirky flaps get to me every time. Quirky flaps. Hello, Lorraine. So I love it. So we're creating with one of the stamps from the one day special. So this is what's going to be in the one day special on Monday. I've sent some videos in. Good afternoon, Lorraine. Belinda is in the USA, Serena. Me too, miss. Yay, Anne. You are all so good. Me too. In Texas, Belinda is. And I live in Haworth. Is that how you speak? Because when I said Harwick in Scotland, it wasn't Harwick, it was Hoik. So I always know that I don't pronounce things right. Oh, bless you, Chris. Thank you so much. Honestly, that quirky flaps, when Tracy now keeps messaging me about quirky flaps, I just can't think of anything else. My messages only come through some today. Oh, right. But you stay safe, Belinda. Don't say it when you're on her chandy. Oh, I know. Can you imagine if I say nips or quirky flaps on a chandy? I won't be able to keep me self professional. I'll just burst out laughing. I've not done my homework yet, sitting in the naughty corner. That's it. You sit in the naughty corner, Sally Ann. Oh dear. So yes, so this is what I'm going to create. I'm going to use the passion flower. I'm hopefully going to use the fritillaria another day. But these are the stamps that I'm looking at for the next couple of days because of the one day special on Monday and Tuesday. So I'm going to showcase those to give some ideas. So this is the card that we've created. And I'm quite pleased how that's turned out. We've got a little bit of a technique on the background. So a nice simple card. So nothing too complicated for you today. I don't want to tax your brains too much. You see, you're all replying to each other. I'm in Telford, Serena is. I'm in Cheshire. Look at the light shining on that now. So I'm just going to move my bits of card out of the way so we can see what we're doing. I love the little community we're building up now. I love the community. I'm in Thornton, just over the hill from Harworth, is it, Marjorie? I did more of my homework yesterday. That's why I missed half your live last night. Whoops, Sue. So what we've got here, because I know June normally plays along with me. So what I've got here is 3 pieces of card stuck together. You could use mount board, but I'm just using the card that I've got because that's what I've got available. I haven't got too much mount board left. So this is 2.5 inches by 8 inches. And what I've done is I've stuck 3 pieces of the card together. So I've got a nice sturdy piece. Double amount of fussy cutting done, miss. Thanks, June. Hi, Margaret. How are you? You're not just squeezed in a yoga session. You see, that sounds wonderful, a yoga session is. I've just been watching Mondays. Yay, Ginny. Thank you. Is loopy. You see, your signal internet is a bit like me then, Belinda. Loopy. So I love how you're all saying where you're from. I'm in Helmond, Joanna is. Helmond. So I love it. So I've stuck 3 pieces of card together for that one. And this piece is 4 inches by 10 inches. That's my background piece. So that's the piece we're going to create first. And I'll just leave my card somewhere that I can reach it. And then I'll forget where it is. And I'll ask you all to remind me where it is later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use gesso to create my card. So I'm just going to... Oh, it's making noises. My gesso's making noises. So I'm using my palette knife and I'm going to swipe the gesso across my card. So we're just going to pick up, can you see that I'm just picking up the gesso like so, and I'm going to swipe it across my card. And you're doing it in a random fashion. You're not being precise because we're going to cover some of this up anyway. So you're going to apply gesso over the card in a random fashion. You're not doing anything technical. It's like buttering your bread, but you're leaving some random areas. And then what we can do is we can add some splatters of gesso as well. I'm in a flat. Lizzie's in a flat. See, we know where everybody's from now. So I'm just going to splatter some of this gesso as well onto the background. So I'm just going to add a touch of water to this gesso. So I've swiped the gesso with a palette knife And then I'm just going to add some splatters of the gesso to the background. Just so I can show you the technique, even though we're covering some of it up, because you can use this technique on something else. So I'm splattering the gesso in the background. I'm just wiping my brush so it doesn't go hard. I got my artwork from you today. Oh, bless. Thank you, Lynn. Is it okay? It always worries me when I send artwork out because you just want it to arrive in one piece. Just wiping up my mess. So all I've got on the background is gesso. I'm just dabbing the big massive blobs because I don't want big blobs. And then I'm just going to give that a dry. I'm just getting my bin. Oh, brilliant, Belinda. Thank you. So all I've done is, you could always get an old pencil and stick it in ink and stamp worth it for the shape. Oh, you've replied to Belinda. There you go. As long as you're replying to each other. Save the Facebook Live and replay. You should get the comments too. All right. So all I'm doing is I'm drying that gesso. Just to make sure that layer of gesso is completely dry, which it isn't, as you can see. So I'm just giving it a dry. I love how you all help Belinda out. So just making sure that's dry. I've got a big lump here, so I'm just giving that a dry. Okay, I've splattered gesso all over my table because that's what I do. So all I've got now, I used to live in Germany. Wow. Oh, thank you for sharing, Margaret. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing the video. So what I've got here is a lovely chalky finish of gesso. You won't see it, but it's very random because I've put it on with a palette knife. Cuckoo. Hi, Kim. I don't know whether I said hello. Who said cuckoo? I've missed them. Bonjour, Sylviane. Bonjour, ça va? Had my beautiful artwork yesterday. Bless you, Bev. Thank you. And made a start on inserts, Linda has. Fantastic. Thanks very much. And thank you to everybody who bought my artwork. So can you see, we've just got a nice layer of gesso. So we'll just chuck this gesso behind me because that's what I do. Because then it's out of the way of the desk. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some paints. So what you could do is you could create a card with two of these techniques. So you could just keep this background. I'm covering some of this background up, but you don't need to. And I watch them over and over. Wondering where cuckoo came from. Because in France they say cuckoo and it's a bit like saying hello. I think Tracy posts to YouTube as well. Yes, I do, Karen. I always post these to YouTube, definitely. So what I'm going to do is I'm using Byzantium and Aqueduct Egg fresco finish paints. Oh, has it not come yet, Margaret? I sent them all at the same time. So I don't know whether everybody else has received theirs, Margaret. So hopefully you'll receive yours any day. And your numbered pencils came, Sheila. Wow, James was quick. So you got this one, Sheila. You got this numbered pencils. That one. James was quick. Did you just start or have I just done something? We've just started, Carita. We've just started. So I've just applied gesso with a palette knife and added a few splatters. And now I'm going to use these two colour paints. I'm using Aqueduct Egg. And I'm going to apply the paint over my gessoed surface. Let's just move this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm braying out the paint and then I'm braying the paint onto the surface. And you don't need much paint. I had breakfast with last night's live. Oh, did you have a nice breakfast, Sue? You watched me, you listened to me waffling while you had breakfast. Oh, how lovely. Now the gesso will resist this paint. So it'll give us a nice background. So you could create this background for one card and then do the other piece on a separate card. But I wanted to just fit in a couple of techniques. So I'm now using the Byzantium. So I'm just braying out the Byzantium, and then I'm going to use a light touch with the Byzantium. So that alone could be a background. And then you could get a piece of card and mop up this bit of background as well and create another background. You know that I won't waste the paint. So just put that on one side. So this is what we've got at the moment, like so, but we haven't finished yet. So what you're going to do then is take your card and either a wet cloth, missed you last night, had withdrawal symptoms, oh bless Sue, and a poached duck egg and on toast. Oh, breakfast with Tracy Evans, did you, Liz? Oh, thank you, Maureen, thank you for sharing. Oh, Michelle's ordered the pencils as well, thank you. So you can see that could be a background on its own without anything else. But because the gesso resists the paint, what you can do is wipe over. I think I've let the paint dry, but it should still. There we go. So just remove some of that paint. And what you need to do is probably do it when your paint is wet, because you get an even better effect. But I'm just wiping over. I'll just get another baby wipe, because the gesso will resist the paint and you'll get white areas. And if you do it while the paint is really wet, you'll get a fantastic result. So that is, I love that. Let me just wipe this up and then I'll hold the background up. What did Anne do? Thanks, Anne Redfern. Stampers Grove. Thank you, Anne, for replying. Sometimes I miss comments because I concentrate on the artwork and then forget that I'm supposed to be concentrating on comments as well. Don't the colours look nice together, Sue? I'm trying to use different colours each time, but wait, it's the gesso that I love that resists the paint. It resists the paint. So you could have that as a background, but I wanted to show you that as a technique, even though mine, if you look, where's the card? I knew I'd ask where the card was. Most of mine is covered up, but I wanted to show you that as a technique because you could use that as just for your card. You could even stamp straight onto there and you'll get a lovely card straight onto there. But I like to try and give you a couple of ideas if I can. Or you could turn it that way. I've got some moisture under my card. Or you could turn it that way and you could... Hello, Chris. You could turn it that way and stamp the fritillaria. And you'd have all this white texture in the background. But can you see where it resists the gesso here? Here. It resists it here. But you need to make sure that when you don't let your paint dry, don't let your paint dry so that you can pick up the paint from the gessoed areas and you'll get that resist technique. I ordered the pencil stamp yesterday. Oh, knowing James, it'll be there very soon, Sue. So that gives you one technique. And then what we're going to do, we'll put that on one side. One side, I've got no sides left. And then what we'll do is bring in our piece of card where I've stuck 3 pieces together. They do dry fast, Belinda, but in some ways that's lovely. But this works beautifully as long as you're not rabbiting like I am. And if you do it straight away, you'll get lots of white patches and it looks beautiful. I mean, that looks like a scene, doesn't it? That could be a hill there. That looks like a scene, doesn't it? Oh, I'm very strange. I'm very strange. Hello, Satu from Finland. Thank you, Margaret. I just love paints. But then you have to remember that I love my paints and inks, so that's what I do. I love doing that. So what I'm going to do now is I've got this piece of card, and as you can see, it's nice and thick because I've got 3 pieces stuck together. Now, you could use mount board if you want. You could use mount board. And what I've got is an acrylic block, which is going to glare now. Hello, Shelley. From my hot tub. Show off, Shelley. That sounds gorgeous. So we're now going to go onto this piece. And I'm going to use these colours: Distress Oxide, Shaded Lilac, Broken China and Wilted Violet. So that was what I used for the background, was the Paper Artsy paints, was Byzantium and Aqueduct Egg, which I've now got all over my finger. Hi Tracy, so I'm a bit late. Oh, it doesn't matter now. I ordered that lovely stamp yesterday. Thank you. Thank you very much. So what I'm going to do now is just move this card out the way. And where did I put my little... There we go. We need this as well. And what we're going to do is apply these inks to the acrylic block. So press these inks on the acrylic block. So this is Shaded Lilac. Apply it to your acrylic block. Just make sure you just squidge that ink on the acrylic block. It's not posh. It sounds lovely, Shelley. Trust me, it sounds beautiful. And now I'm going to add the Wilted Violet. So add the Wilted Violet to your acrylic block, okay? And then I'm going to spritz that acrylic block with water. Just get rid of the moisture underneath. So can you see I've now got those beads of ink on my acrylic block? And what I'm going to do is bring in my card and I'm going to turn that acrylic block over and press that onto the card, like so. Now you can press really hard if you want, or you can press delicately. Now if you press delicately, you get that. If you want, so you get that if you press delicately. If you want, you can place it back over and press a little bit harder in areas that you want more colour. So you can press a bit harder if you want. And what you do is you allow that to dry. So look at that for a background, and all we've done is used an acrylic block and some inks. Hello Amanda. And it just gives you a wonderful background, and all you've done is used an acrylic block. That's it, acrylic block and some inks. And what you want to do is allow this to dry so you get some of those dark areas. Because if you let it to dry naturally, you'll get some of these lovely dark areas. So let's just place that on one side for a minute. We won't be able to let it dry naturally because we haven't got the time. We just haven't got that luxury, I'm afraid. I'm now dropping everything on the floor. And then what we're going to do is bring in this card. Can you see that we've still got a little bit of ink on here? So we can just spritz that a little bit more. There's not much ink on there, but what we can do is just use that remaining ink on a card. There's not much ink there, but we can use that ink on the card. And I'll bring in one I did before. Can you see I've got second generation print? Let's move these out the way. So I've got a second generation print, and that one is a third generation print. Just so you can see that you've got 3 prints for a tiny bit of ink. All as we've done is put a tiny bit of ink, and this is what you've got. I've got the first generation, the second generation, and the third generation. And all as that is ink on an acrylic block. But you're back, are you, Jennifer? Yay! So we've got first, second, and third generation. So if you wanted, you could get your acetate from the One Day Special stamps, and you could stamp these on any of those prints. Any of those prints would work. So you could either do that one, or you could use the Fritillaria and stamp the Fritillaria on any one of them backgrounds. And all you've done is use a tiny bit of ink. It's fine, Carolyn. How are you? Were you working on your little book? Yay! So it just gives... And can you see where I'm allowing it to dry naturally? You get some of these darker patches which make the technique even more interesting. But what I like is the fact that on each one you get some of these dots. You get some of these little dotty areas, and you also get some white spaces. And the more you play with that technique, the more you can manipulate how much white space you get. I also made a little book today. Yay, Isabel! I'm loving the little books. I do love them. So this is the one that I'm going to work with, and I will create cards or something out of these, because that gives me 3 just for the sake of a couple of little spritz of ink. So it works fantastically. So that's 2 lovely backgrounds. And then I'm going to have to give this a little dry because I need to stamp onto it. So I can't allow it to dry naturally. We'll catch up later on what I've missed so far. No problem, Carolyn. So as you can see, my 2 backgrounds, I've created 2 backgrounds and they both work beautifully together. One is with paints and that does one technique, and one is with inks and that does a separate technique. It's lovely, Belinda. I love doing it. Could you use plastic wrapping? You can use any acrylic block, Sue. Plastic wrapping will give you a different look because obviously when you've got your acrylic block, the edges stop it spreading because you don't press too hard. Whereas if you press on the plastic, you still get the nice smooshing technique, but it'll smoosh everywhere. It won't stop where the acrylic block is and give you that parallel line. So if you've got one of the All and Create acrylic blocks, you could do the same. So yes, but you'll get a different technique with acetate or plastic packaging. I've been like a robot today. Stands on the circle, now stands on the square. Bless Serena. So I'm now going to dry that. But because I've allowed some of it to dry naturally, I've still got these lovely dark patches, which are lovely. So I'm just going to dry that. And I've added 3 layers of card together. So it works beautifully. Does that make sense, Sue? Shattered. Carolyn's shattered. Or Carolyn's replying to somebody. So I'm just giving this a good dry because I want to stamp onto this. And because I've got a nice thick layer of card, I can just bend that. And as you can see, that ink is still wet. So we'll just dab a bit of that. So that works beautifully just for a bit of ink. Turn it over so you can bend the card the other way. And that gives us our beautiful background. So literally, how many backgrounds have we created with a tiny bit of ink and a tiny bit of paint? We've created several backgrounds just with a tiny bit of ink and paint. So I'm quite pleased with that. So what I'm going to do now is stamp my image. So hopefully that's nice and dry. So I'm going to bring in my fritillaria. Don't have a block like that. So going to cut some acetate to the size and give that a try. Good idea, Jane. Just cut your acetate to that size. What I would say is don't press the acetate too much so that it doesn't seep through the edges that way. So I'm now going to stamp the fritillaria. No, this is not the fritillaria. This is the passion flower. I'm getting all my flowers mixed up. So I'm just going to, and because I picked the lilac today from my garden, that's where the colours were inspired from. The lilac was this purpley colour in my garden and it's absolutely beautiful. So that's what inspired the colours. Is mum wearing you out? Carolyn's tired. Which card I used? I either used the same card, Pink Frog, or I use the reverse of Centura Pearl card, Sue. So I'm just going to allow my ink to sit on my card because, as you know, that's still got some moisture in there. Too hot in Texas for them. You see, I forget that, you see, Belinda. I forget how hot Texas is. You see, I'd be useless in Texas, Belinda, because being a redhead with pale skin, I can't be out in too much heat. Even sometimes here, it's too much for me. I can't stand it. So it would be too much for me. Yeah, you could use a plate from the cutting machine. Yeah. You could make a really big piece and then cut it up into pieces as well to make a masterboard. So you could do it in lots of different ways. And there we got our flowers. And what we're going to do is add these flowers on the top like so. Like that. So we're going to add these on the top. So I'll just get my adhesive. My Nana liked a lilac. It's got the most beautiful scent, Margaret. It really has. And my house now is full of scent. And to be honest, it really cheers me up. It really cheers me up. It's lovely. Just set that off centre. That's better. Just press that down. So I'm hoping June's keeping up because I've waffled a little bit. The reverse of Centura Pearl is basically stamping card. Correct, Jane? Yes. And it works nicely for me for the techniques. But I use pink frog card as well a lot. In fact, I've got to order some more pink frog card. I need to get hold of Andy. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to allow that adhesive to grab a little bit before we carry on. I just need it to grab. So I'll waffle a bit. 300 GSM's card from Pink Frog. Exactly, Shelley. 300 GSM from Pink Frog works perfectly. But as you can see, this is where I'm going with the card. Like this. This is where I'm going. But I want to add a little bit more detail to it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I just need that glue to really grab a little bit. So while that's doing that, I'm going to add some stamping in the background. And I'm going to use the overlapping texture, which will also be in the one day special. And I think we'll just add some stenciling as well. So I'm going to add a touch of stenciling round the outside edge. And I don't need much ink because this has got a whole pile of ink on. Super smooth card. Yes, Liz. June's retired. Have you retired, June? So I'm now going to apply some ink over this stencil. I think this is stencil 45. And I'm just going to add a little bit of detail around the edges of my card. I'm not going to cover all the edges. I'm just going to add some detail just to some of the edges of the card, just to give it some added depth. And I do like adding little touches. It's my favourite part, adding little touches. And I've not got much ink. I've not re-inked my blending tool because there's plenty of ink on there. So I don't need to do that. So I've now got that. So I've got a bit of stenciling in the background. So you see, that would be a card in itself. So I'm trying to... I love fussy cutting. So do I. Have you just got this stencil, Tracy? Yay! Tracy. Oh, yes, it's Tracy's fault. Tracy Dawkins, the one that keeps mentioning quirky flaps. So we can blame Tracy. But you could create... You've got two different techniques there. You could create two separate cards. Obviously, I'm not because I'm just showing you what I've created. But you could create two separate cards, really. So I've got the stenciling around the background. And I'm now going to use this stamp, which I keep putting down, and my black ink, and just add sort of delicate touches of stamping with the overlapping texture. And I just want some tiny touches of the text around the outside edge. Yes, we can blame Tracy because I cannot stop laughing at that. Quirky flaps just makes me laugh. And I just think a touch of black brings some life to your colours. It brings some oomph to your colours, if that makes sense. It brings some oomph to it. I don't want to go too much. I'm just using a little part of the stamp where there's some text. Just a little part of it, just to add a little touch of detail round the outside edge. That's all I want to do. Just to add a touch of detail. And then I'm just going to blot that ink just to make sure that we don't smudge anything. Those quirky flaps, Melinda. To be honest, Stephanie, if I'm really honest, I will use so many things for blending, but I like these big ones. Trust me, I always like the big ones because I can grab hold of them and blend. But I also like my cut and dry foam because I can wash my cut and dry foam. You can wash these as well. But I do like using these because I can grab hold of them. They're sturdy, so I can really get a good blend. So I use them and cut and dry foam. But that's just me. You know what I'm like. So I need to move that black ink out the way or else I'll end up using the wrong thing. And what I'm going to do is bring in this piece. Yes, I like the smoothies. Why is it? Will it be just the 3 stamps in the 1 day special? Yes, Margaret. There's other stamps on the show, but the 1 day special, what have I just done with those pieces of paper? Are the 3 stamps. The 1 day special is those 3 stamps. That's the actual 1 day special, is those 3. I've got no idea what cost is because they don't give me that information. I just get told, you know, inspiration, Tracy, these 3 stamps. Yes, you could use it to make flowers with, Linda. Absolutely. Absolutely. Think need to go. Margaret says she's retired, but she thinks she needs to go back to work. Oh heck, everyone needs something big, and Saturday. Eh? Oh heck, everyone needs something big and Saturday to grab hold of Tracy. Yes, you can buy them on Monday, Chantal. On Monday they'll be available on Hochanda. Yes. Hello Denise, how are you? What number is the smaller one? The smaller one, who's just Liz, is 307. But I've literally used that little bit there. But in a card that I've done for Hochanda and that I'm demoing on Monday, I've used the whole of this in the background and it looks fab with paint. So I love it. Thank you, Annette. That's really kind of you. Thank you. So what I'm going to do now is take this up another level. So look, I've treated myself to a new Versamark. Look how new that is. I don't think I've ever had a clean Versamark in 20 years. The 1 day special, Karen, is Monday and Tuesday, 27th and 28th of April. Look how clean that is. I've had the same Versamark ink pad, and I'm not exaggerating, for 20 years. Tracy, Pokemon. You're such a bad influence, Tracy. I just end up laughing all the time. So I've had the same Versamark ink pad for 20 years, so I treated myself to a new one. Look how beautiful and new that is. I daren't use it now, so I'm now going to apply my Versamark ink over my stamped image, even over the die cut pieces. Now you won't see much because it's all clear, so I'm then going to sprinkle clear embossing powder over my die cut pieces and over my background, because then the die cut pieces will look like they're encased in the clear embossing powder. So obviously I'll do this a couple of times, but we can chat in the meantime. Where's my heat gun? No you are. I've spent a bloody fortune this last month. Am I a bad influence, Tracy? But we've got to admit, though, those quirky flaps, that was hilarious. I know I'm always dragging it in the gutter, but I just couldn't help it. Quirky flaps, oh, so funny. Quirky flaps and nips. So I'm now just going to heat the clear embossing powder, which unfortunately you won't see on the screen because, of course, it's clear. Because Tracy's a dimwit and she does something that's clear embossing, that's why. Your fault, just ordered the stamp. Oh, bless you, Leslie. You're all so lovely. I'm loving our group, though, because everybody's so helpful and we all share and everything, all share the cards. I love it. I'm loving the little community. It's so nice. So I'm just heating the last little bit here and then I'm going to do another layer. Just waiting for that to heat. And normally what you can do is when that's hot, I've spent loads as well. Serena, yeah, but you can't blame me for today, Serena. That wasn't my fault, was it? The best price for oxides. Come on, ladies, where do we know? But what is Hochanda? Chantal, Hochanda is the shopping channel for craft. Nibs and knobs. Oh, Shally. You look up, honestly, if you do a search on nibs, it comes up knobs. It does, honestly. Yes, perhaps the ladies here will know the best place. So normally when it's hot, you can sprinkle another layer of clear embossing. But because some of it's cooled down, some of it hasn't, I'm going to add my Versamark ink yet again. And what this is, it's like the die cut pieces are caught in crystal because of the clear embossing. So it's like the die cut pieces are caught in that crystallized embossing powder. So I'm going to add another layer of the embossing powder. So just adding another layer. I'm sorry, but I've got to do it right, and I've got to add 3 layers because that's just the way I am. So I'm just going to heat this again. Check out Aldi for craft bits. I've never been in Aldi. I did once for some food, but I didn't realise they did craft bits, to be honest. So I'm just going to heat this again. Yes, I've done some videos for Herchanda for Monday. So I'll be there with you in spirit because I've done some videos that took me an age because I had to film them in my little room all on my own. So I did that. Because I'm using clear embossing, I can hardly see what I'm doing. So now this is my second layer. Maureen's got a list. Oh, bless Serena. Oh, you ordered this stamp, Serena. So is it my fault then? I thought it wasn't my fault. I was taking pleasure that it wasn't my fault for a change. So this is like it's caught in crystal. So I think I'll be able to sprinkle that again because it's still hot. So sprinkle that again, and I'll hold this up so you can see. Just place that down. This is the last layer now. The last layer. Just tidy my embossing powder. That's where I purchased them from. Oh, brilliant. So I'm just going to heat that again. Oh, thank you, Leslie. So I'm just going to heat this now, and then I'll lift it up so you can see. Just heating this up. You can't see much on screen because obviously with it being clear it's very difficult to see. But I will hold it up so you can see it. Because it looks really cool when it's when the die cut pieces are encased in the clear embossing powder. Doesn't matter, the little notebook will be fab. The little notebook will be fab, Jennifer. That'll be lovely. So I'm just heating the last little bit. It's going quite quickly now. Just making sure I've not missed any. So what you've got now is you've got those this is hot, you've got those die cut pieces. Well, they're not die cut, they're cut out. Yeah, and a huge pot is even better, Sue. Especially if you've got ultra thick. But this is all I've got at the moment. But it just looks like the die cut pieces, they look like they're encased in the embossing powder. It looks really cool in real life. So it's just got a nice 3 layers so that those die cut pieces stick up, but they're encased in the clear embossing powder. What are you on a mad search for, Belinda? We're all on a mad search. What for? What are you on a mad search for? It looks brighter as well, doesn't it? Yes, Shelley. But I like it because this middle bit has sunk into the clear embossing. These have stuck up, but they're solid, really hard now. So it looks like they're encased in the clear embossing powder. Love it. Oh, the needle book die. Eileen will be chuffed. So I'm now going to add some more texture to my little piece. So I'm going to get some Y. Oh, thank you, Sylviane. Thank you. Merci. I'm trying to. I don't know any French. I'm useless. I need abs here. So I'm just I've got this nice soft wire. It's just very soft wire. And what I'm going to do, it's now got a mind of its own. It's retired, so I'm not able to find it. Oh, right. So I'm now going to wind the wire over the piece. And this is to add another texture to my piece. Okay? Just to give it another texture. Just bend my card a little bit. And then I'm going to use my Dina Wakley Ultra Thick Gel. Where did I put my... Do you know, I put everything down in such a small area and I can't see it. I can't see my palette knife at all. I'll have to use another one. And then when I tidy up, I find it all. It all sort of miraculously appears. Oh, thank you, Gabby. That's really kind of you. So what I'm going to do is now add some of this thick gel of Dina Wakley's to my background, just because it'll make it 3D. So I'm then going to add this here, like so. Just move it along a little bit, just so that looks better. And what I do is I normally, before I do anything else, I allow that to dry. I'm learning French from Abs on his Instagram all night. I know, I keep asking for a new word. You are on there at night. Yes, I am, Kim, on there at night. Sometimes if I have to catch up with work, then I struggle to catch all of it. But yes, I'm on there if I can be. I like a good old chat. You know what I'm like. So just move this mess. So we've not finished yet. We need to add the sentiment. So what I want to do is bring one of these in. So I'm going to use one of these. And I'm going to use a little one as well, if I can find them. Look at these tiny ones. I'm going to use one of these. My hands are so grubby. I'm going to use them. Just bought me my Tim Holtz index clips 2 weeks early. Yay, Leslie. 2 weeks early for index clips. Don't we love index clips? Of course we do. I wonder who got you into index clips. I wonder what mad woman that was. So I'm just going to add this here. I'm adding little details now to finish it off. I'm going to add my clip here, like so. And then we need to add our sentiment. So we've got a sentiment on the passion flower. And the sentiment on the passion flower, which I can't find the packaging. Abs and the secrets. And yeah, I don't know what all the secrets are, I must admit. But we've got a sentiment here. Best wishes today, tomorrow and always. So I'm going to use that sentiment, which I've got on my acrylic block. Just move this out the way for the moment. And stamp my sentiment. I don't know, but she don't half chatty. So I'm now going to ink this sentiment. And I don't need much ink because it's a nice, delicate sentiment. I'm just going to stamp this onto white card. And I don't need to press very much because it's a nice, fine sentiment. Doesn't need much pressing. And I'm just going to blot that. I've got Tim Holtz Bits Envy, Tracy. Oh, yes, I emptied my Bonnie. I emptied all my Tim Holtz ideology. And I've got these little drawers in a cupboard. So this is out of a cupboard. And I put them in here. Mainly because I wanted to use the packaging, that's why. And then I went and chucked the packaging in the bin and totally forgot. And had to go and get it again. Any shops selling craft supply? I get mine from Amazon and any shops. Oh, Belinda got some. We couldn't find them before, Belinda, the index clips. When we tried Amazon, they said they weren't available for a month, so we didn't know. Sorry, I'm just kneeling on the floor trimming my sentiment. So that's what I was doing. So I'm then going to bring this in and add my sentiment. So I'm just going to trim my sentiment. So you've got two techniques here you can try. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is add my sentiment there. like so. So add the sentiment. Where's my glue gone? Where can I find the tiny clips? Oh, everybody's got the tiny clips. I forgot what they're called, but they're the very tiny ones. They're from his new release. They're from his new release, Joanne. So they'll be available. If you do a search for tiny clips, Tim Holtz, they've only just come out, so they'll be readily available. They'll definitely be readily available. So then some finishing touches. We want to add some white splatters, because I love a few white splatters, as you well know. And then we haven't quite finished. You need to get your paint, and you need to add a little dab of paint to this clip, because you don't want to forget those finishing touches. You need to add a little bit of paint to your clip so it looks like it's part of the project. Just wipe that up and then bring in the original card. Bring in the original card. Oh, we've missed one bit, hang on. And then what I've done on the original card, if we bring that in, on the pencil stamp, this is why I like mixing stamps. On the pencil stamp, fingerprinting. So on this pencil stamp, one thing that I absolutely love and can't stop using is this little bit here where it's got figure dot 1356, because it reminds me of like plant specimens. When you've got plant specimens and you give them a number. I bet I'm talking a load of rubbish really, but you know what I mean. So that's what I love about the pencil stamp. You can also use these bits. You don't have to use just the pencils. You can use all this bit. Illustrate your life, draw, doodle, sketch, art. So what I'm doing is using one of these little bits here, and I'm going to add that to my card. Tim Holtz and Tracy Evans have a lot to answer for. Whoops, Karen. Yeah, but Tim's the king of craft. I mean, he's just fab. So what I'm going to do is add this here. Now for me, do you know, I'm so chuffed with that card because it's the little details and the fact you've used a couple of techniques, but when you apply it to black card, it makes everything pop. So you've got even that little bit just from the pencil stamp, it finishes it off. Oh, thank you, Paulie. I bet it does come before, I bet it will come before Saturday. It will. I bet it'll come. Oh, oh, bless you, Joanna. So I love how these little details, the wire, the little paint touch, the little stamps in the background, it makes it like cohesive. And I don't know about you, but I love cards that are tactile. It feels really sturdy. It's really sturdy. I love it. So if you look there, you can see we've created the exact same card, apart from it's on a black mount. Look at them cute little clips. Look how tiny that is. My pencil stamp still has to reach USA. Oh, bless Belinda. So I loved it. Yeah, because what you can do, Sally Ann, I nearly did that, Sally Ann. I nearly put the embossing powder piece in the fridge for a few minutes, put it in the fridge, and then you can crack the embossing powder and you'll have a few cracks and you can highlight those cracks. I just love it. And I'm just so thrilled with how it's come out. And it's a really nice, sturdy card. Do you know, I am weird. I do like sturdy. I like sturdy. I can't be doing with them limp cards where when you put them on the fireplace, they fall over. Can't do with that. Just can't be doing with limp cards. We don't want limp cards. So that's today's card with the 1 day special bundle. And still bought in a bit of the pencil stamp. I'm just waiting. Oh, bless. Thank you so much. So I've enjoyed your company again. Doesn't an hour go quick? Doesn't an hour go fast? Stiff, yes, stiff and sturdy. Oh, you know what I mean. Stiff and sturdy card. I like stiff and sturdy cards. I can't be doing with these limp things that fall over on the fireplace. No, thank you. So hopefully they'll come soon, Medulla. Fingers crossed. So I'm really pleased with that, how that one's turned out. So I will see you on Friday, because tomorrow is another work day. Mine are always sturdy. Exactly, Leslie. We like sturdy cards. So just cut out. Oh, that's a shame, Hope. So yes, so I'll be back on Friday, probably around about the same time. I know they're not the same, but I have some bronze coloured or duck egg blue small bulldog clips. Oh, there you go. Denise has some. So yes, so I'll see you all on Friday. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing on Friday, but it'll probably be something from the one day special. So I will see you Friday, because tomorrow's another work day. I need to get some work done. So I'll see you Friday around about 4:30. You and your cheeky... I know, I can't help it, Denise, my cheeky word. It's Tracy's fault. Tracy gets me going in the gutter. It's Tracy's fault. So I shall see you all on Friday. Go and enjoy some sunshine, and perhaps go and pick some flowers from your garden or some weeds and stick them in a vase. And thank you very much for all the shares, and thank you for all purchasing the designs. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all Friday. See you all Friday. Bye. Bye.